Hello students, I am Dr. PC Cambodia, Associate Professor in the Department of English, PSR, Government Arts College, Alwar, Rajasthan. This video is for the students of MA Final English Literature Paper First, Principles of Criticism. In this video, we discuss the types of discoveries as discussed by the great teacher Aristotle in his book Poetics. According to Aristotle, there are 6 types or kinds of discoveries. On the basis of discovery and reversal, Aristotle identifies the plots. Say for example, in simple type of plot there is no discovery and reversal, but in complex types of plots there are the discoveries and the reversals. When discoveries and reversal are followed immediately after each other, then the tragic impact is heightened. If there is a gap between discovery and reversal, then the tragic impact or tragic intensity is not intensified or heightened. According to Aristotle, the first type or kind of discovery is based on external marks and tokens. These external marks and tokens also include the scars and wounds on the body of a great hero or on the body of any child right from the time of his birth. Aristotle says that they are not fit according to the laws of necessary and probability of the requirements of the plot. He says that Ulysses goes to an island, and to the inhabitants of that island he tells that he wants to have a bath, and in order to assist him to have a bath he needs a nurse. A nurse is provided to Ulysses. She sees the wounds and marks on the body of Ulysses, and then she identifies Ulysses as the hero of the Trojan War. This way it is a nice way or artistic way of dealing with wounds and scars. Aristotle quotes another example of bad handling of these wounds and scars, and he says that once Ulysses, the hero of the Trojan War, goes to a forest. There he meets the swineherds, and he asks the swineherds to identify him on the basis of showing the wounds and scars, and Aristotle says that this is not a fine way of using wounds and scars. Then external tokens may be in form of earrings or rings or handkerchief. In one of the major tragedies of William Shakespeare, Othello makes use of his handkerchief as a token of love, and he gives that handkerchief to his beloved Desdemona, but Desdemona misplaces the handkerchief. It is found by Iago, who is a villain in that tragedy, Othello, and he misuses and creates a tragedy. So in modern tragedies also we see the use of these external tokens, and in the Sanskrit play Abhigyanam Shakuntalam, a ring is used as a token in order to identify. Then the second kind of discovery is introduced in an inartistic way by the poet himself, and the great teacher Aristotle quotes the example of the play Iphigenia in Tauris. And in order to understand the second arbitrary kind of discovery, we shall have to go to the plot and essential story of this play, Iphigenia in Tauris. Iphigenia was the daughter of Agamemnon, who was the hero of the Trojan War from the sides of the Greeks. He had Achilles and Ulysses on his side. They were fighting a war against the mighty Trojan prince Hector. Then they couldn't open the war so easily, and then they kept on fighting. The fight continued for 10 years, and for another 10 years they lost their way in the sea. So after a gap of 20 years they reached, but they were victorious. They took the Helen of Troy with them, and when Agamemnon reached at his hometown Argos, then his daughter Iphigenia was not friendly with the Helen of Troy. So Agamemnon took the daughter Iphigenia to the goddess of hunting and sacrification of the human bodies, and there Iphigenia was offered for the human offering. And then he thought that Iphigenia would meet her natural fate in this way, but when Iphigenia's turn came, then she was checked for completeness of her body, and it was found that she was incomplete, so she was not offered as a human offering to the goddess of Artemis. She was saved, and she was given an opportunity to live in the shrine of that goddess, and she became a human being who caught hold of others and offered their sufferings, and then she was this way offering the human bodies. One day her own brother, whom she didn't know, was caught for such a offering, and the name of that fellow was Orestes. Then when Orestes came in form of unknown person, it was just by a chance that she asked him to which place he belongs to, and then he said that he belongs to Argos, and then Iphigenia immediately remembered that she also belongs to Argos. Then she asked that who was his father. Then he told her that Agamemnon, the hero of the Trojan War, was his father. Then she asked, how is he? Then Orestes replied that he is no more. His own wife stabbed him to death. And then she asked about his wife. Then Orestes told her that his wife has been stabbed to death by her own son. Then she starts weeping. Then Orestes, who was to be offered as a human sacrifice to the goddess of Artemis, asked her that why she was weeping. Then she told that the both of them are brother and sister. She allowed an escape and asked him to run immediately if he wanted to save his life. But when he was running, he was given a letter in order to show the inhabitants of Argos, to tell them that she was very much there. And then that letter was taken by Orestes. It was shown over there to the inhabitants of the town of Argos, and this way her living identity was discovered. Then Aristotle objects to this kind of making use of the discovery through a letter, and he says that it has been arbitrarily introduced in the play, otherwise it should come out of the very structure of plot. So we come to the third kind of discovery. The third kind of discovery is also based on the Trojan Wars, and then we shall have to remember a particular incident from the Trojan War. Achilles, Agamemnon, Ulysses were unable to win the Trojan War, and they were not ready to demolish the wall because it was almost impossible for them to have an entry into the compound city of Troy, as it was a holy city, and those walls were also constructed by the gods and goddesses. So they thought of a plan, and a wooden horse was manufactured. Some soldiers entered into it. Those soldiers were chosen soldiers, and Ulysses was with them, and there was a musician, minstrel. They took him inside the horse. They thought that the Roman prince Hector will think that the Greek heroes and their soldiers have ran away, and they have left this horse as a mark of the victory of the mighty Trojan prince Hector. So he took the horse inside, and when the night fell, then all those persons who were inside the body of the hollow wooden horse wanted to come out, but the minstrel had a weak heart. He started weeping, and then Ulysses, the great hero, recognized him on the basis of the way he was weeping, because he had also wept earlier also, and he was earlier with him in such expedition. So Ulysses recognized him, told about his name, and then this way the discovery was there because of refreshing of the memory of the great Trojan hero Ulysses. Then we come to the fourth kind of discovery. The fourth kind of discovery is based on inference and reasoning. The great teacher Aristotle quotes an example of the play Geoffrey. In that play, there is a character, Electra. Electra is informed that someone with hairstyle like that of yours has come, and then immediately she draws an inference that there is no one with the hairstyle like that of hers. Then there is a person she recollects. His name is Orestes. Then she himself concludes on the basis of reasoning that the person who has come is no one else but Orestes. And this way it is she who makes the discovery. Then we come to the fifth kind of discovery. Fifth kind of discovery is based on bad reasoning. It is also called a discovery based on baffling. This kind of discovery has half truth and half falsehood. In this kind of discovery, the incident narrated is true only under specific circumstances, and it is declared to be true under all circumstances. And the play that Aristotle quotes for this kind of discovery, that is based on bad reasoning or false reasoning, is lost. So we cannot quote that example. And the sixth kind of discovery is the best kind of discovery, in which the discovery occurs because of the laws of probability and necessity. It comes out of the very structure of the plot. Aristotle quotes the example of the Oedipus the king by Sophocles. The tragedy of Oedipus we have also seen on our last turn, and once again I would like to remind that Oedipus, when was born to his father Laius and Jocasta, he was taken to the oracle at Delphi. Oracle at Delphi told that the newly born infant male baby would one day slay his father and commit the incest of marrying his own mother. Jocasta and Laius didn't kill that infant. They placed the infant in a basket and allowed it to float down the stream of a river. And as Jocasta and Laius thought the basket didn't turn upside down, the baby was saved because a fisherman recovered the baby, brought the baby up and reared the baby. When the baby grew up, he became a warrior, and one day at the crossroad he had a struggle with his own father, who was Laius, but Oedipus didn't know that the man whom he was fighting with was his own father, and he slew his own father, rather murdered his own father, and committed the incest of marrying his own mother, Jocasta. They had the children born to them. Then a curse fell on their land, and the reason for the same was traced, and then oracle at Delphi intervened. It was he who reminded them that the existing king Oedipus had committed an incest of marrying his own mother, and this way curse had fallen on their land. So oracle at Delphi discloses this discovery of murdering his own father by the king Oedipus, and this play is the best example of natural kind of discovery that automatically happens or comes out of the very structure of plot. This way we see that there are 6 kinds of discoveries, and in the next turn we shall be taking some other topic from Aristotle's Poetics. Thank you so much.